Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's season 12, episode 4, and today it's a massive top of the table clash in the Italian top tier. It's first place Napoli v second place Inter Milan. Juventus are nowhere in sight, and the winners will take the lead in the title race. It's very early on in the season, with the only unbeaten side left. Inter Milan lost their game in hand where they could have gone back to the top, and now if we can get a result away against them today, they're managed by Slaven Bilic, we'll go well clear in the title race and we'll be making sure we're in charge this season. If we can get Italy done and dusted in one season, that would be absolutely fantastic. Then we can move on to either the Bundesliga or La Liga and try and get the other two big domestic titles. We've got to win the Champions League as well. I'm not sure that will happen here, but it does look like we're going to get out of the groups after the two results since you were last with me. So let's go and have a look at the schedule to see how we've been getting on. We've been doing remarkably well. We've won every single game in all competitions since the last episode, despite the fact we've had so many different injury crises. We've got loads of players out today, loads of key first team players as well, but we still seem to keep getting plucky results and we're nicking 1 or 2-0 wins. We're incredibly solid at the back, which means we can cope without 1 or 2 attacking players. So after that Benfica game in the last episode, possibly our only disappointing defensive display since we've been at the club, the only time we've conceded more than 1 goal in a game, we got straight back to a solid performance against Brescia, a 2-0 win away from home, Gerardo the main man again with a brace in the second half as we comfortably picked up the 3 points on the road. Then at home to Roma, probably the best side we've played so far, the team we rejected in the summer to come to Napoli. We won 3-1 against an ageing side, Divock Origi got one back for them after we went 2-0 up early on, Gerardo with a brace again, and Thiago Gaucho finally coming to the party. It was another 2-0 win away to Cagliari in the game after, Ismail Assar with a brace in this one. He's been fantastic for us as well, but both of those two players are out today, which could make things a little bit more difficult. We won 2-0 at home to Red Star in the Champions League. Bernard Martin got his first goal for the club as we played a very much rotated side in this one, and then Conrad Lima, the right back, he came into the team and got the second. We won 2-1 at home to Udinese. Again they got a late goal after we scored 2. Ismail Assar with a brace again, and a comfortable win to keep the pace with Inter. Then a 2-0 win away at Frosinone. Thiago Gaucho got a goal in the first half, followed by an Ismail Assar penalty in the second. You can see in that one it's when Gerardo got injured and Sapa Pap came into the team and he picked up one as well. Then a convincing 4-1 win at home to PSV in the Champions League. How they were first seeds I'll never know. It's just because they won the Dutch title to get into pot 1, and I'm not quite sure how they beat Ajax in that league either. Ismail Assar got a hat-trick in that one, and then Saavedra got a goal, our club captain as well. A late consolation as it was already 3-0, but Sarr got a penalty to complete his hat-trick after that. And then a 2-0 win at home to Benevento, a really good result for us. Unfortunately, Ismail Assar did get a knock in that one. It doesn't show there, it was one of those innocuous ones, didn't even come up as a slight knock, but at the end of the game he's out for 3 or 4 weeks and will be missing for this one today. So Proyer, the young right winger, who the club spent 35 million on this summer before we joined, he got his first goal of the season, and then Claudio Gomez with a screamer in the second half after a red card early on for the away side. So we face Inter Milan not in the best of form in terms of performances, but we're really getting the results, and that's the most important bit. You can see there's loads of players out there today, our whole first choice front three, Sapa Pap the young centre half, and a couple of others that aren't on that list. So let's go and get into the game to have a look at it. Just very quickly beforehand, you can see on the dynamics we're all very good now, things are moving along quite nicely, the team cohesion's still good but it is moving up a bit, the dressing room atmosphere is excellent, as is the managerial support as we're starting to prove ourselves now. Hopefully these two unhappy players will sort themselves out. We're not worried about Vitlis as he's in the under 23s and he's going to be able to go off soon. And then last but not least before the game, let's see how the table stands at the moment. We're top of the Champions League group with 7 points, joined with Benfica who we drew with in the first game. PSV bottom 1-0, they lost to Red Star as well, who were a really poor side who just played for a 0-0 against us. So although we're not necessarily going to win the group, we're definitely going to get through to the knockout stage stages, and that's all we could have really asked at this stage. A brilliant start to our Champions League campaign. We're top of the league by 1 point from Inter Milan, Juventus all the way down on 16 points, lost 4 of their first 10 games, and as a result they're nowhere near. You can see there they've lost 4 games, all by the odd goal, none of them against the biggest opponents in the league. Bologna having a good season up in 4th, Atalanta in 5th and Lazio in 6th, but they've not lost against Inter or Milan, the sides that are right up there with us. I guess that's the one thing I would say with us as well, to exercise a bit of caution. We haven't played any of the sides in the top 7 at the moment. Sampdoria the highest placed side we faced, and they're the team we drew against as well. The second highest placed team we faced, the 10th place Swallow, and we drew against them as well. So none of the sides in the top half we've actually beaten this year. We've just been really consistent against the lower placed sides, and as we play the top teams in the league like today, we're going to get our first massive test of the year. Roma are playing Juventus, so that should be an interesting game as well, but it's not going to matter to us if we lose, as we'll be out of control of the title race. We'd love to get the job done, but with the injuries we've got at the moment, it's going to be difficult, and we can't even name a bench of 12 today. Ismail Sarr's going to have to come off. We haven't got anyone else that can come onto the bench. We're going to put Gerardo on there, even though he's not fit enough to play, just because we haven't got another striker available. So as a result today, our lineup's a little bit rotated, particularly in attacking positions where we haven't got any first team options. So we've got Leonardo in goal as you'd expect, Chan and Vernier are the fullbacks with Leighton Diaz in the middle, La Rocca and Gomez in the holding role, Thiago Gaucho in central midfield, then young Marigi over on the right wing, Proyer switches to the left for today, he's the only player in the squad who can play there, and then Bernard Martin up front with no alternative option should he not score. He's only got a goal at home to Red Star in the Champions League, hasn't scored in a league game yet at all, and missed a hatful of sitters against Benevento, and in the end we thought about bringing him off. So we've still got plenty of good defensive options available, but in attack we're really stretched, and if we don't get a goal with these 3, I'm not quite sure where it's coming from. So let's go and get into the game, and fingers crossed we can get at least a point to stay top of the table and in charge of the title race. It's a 4-2-3-1 for Inter, a little bit more attacking than what we're playing, and look who they've got over on the right wing. The hero Daniel Arzani, he was with us at Newcastle up till last year, an absolutely brilliant pro for us there. No wonder they're top of the league with players like that. His rating's very good, they continue to perform well. It's great to see Daniel Arzani here today. I'm sure we'll have a little chat with him in the tunnel or the warm-up, but what a nice prospect it is to see old players. He'll also be meeting up with Claudio Gomez and Bernard Martin, of course, players that were at the club with him last season, so good to see a bit of a Newcastle reunion, even though we're not wishing Arzani much luck today. Let's go and talk to the lads then. We're going to tell them to pick up where they left off, just as Zolt Low recommends. We've got to remember whatever the result is today, we thought we'd already thrown it away after 4 games, so to be up there at the top of the table, with Juventus nowhere in sight, is absolutely remarkable. We are still going to be in the title race if we lose today, it's just that Inter Milan will take charge of it. So let's get into the first half and see if we can stop Daniel Arzani and then try and get a result ourselves. It's Davis on the left hand side for Inter as they come forward immediately, but Chan heads the ball away and it's out for a throw in. I'm sure the highlight will end, and with a minute gone it's still goalless. It's Arzani back with the ball on the right hand side for Inter. He gets it into central midfield and now Toma. Switch to Davis on the left and there's a couple of players in the box. It's a wonderful delivery and a fantastic save as well. The centre forward from point blank range got a good connection on it, but Leonardo made a stupendous block and it was cleared away at the second attempt. Ruben Diaz gets it from a short goal kick and now La Rocca can bring it forward into midfield. Gaucho gets it out to Marigi. Can the youngster produce anything special? He's been challenged quite easily, but it's fallen for Proyer into Bernard Martin and he forces a brilliant save from the Inter keeper. One apiece for the goalkeepers there. 2 fantastic saves, although ours hasn't gone down as a clear-cut chance. Bernard Martin made it out of nothing, but it was still a brilliant save. Marigi in the box back to Gaucho. He finds Claudio Gomez, but a shot's blocked and it's cleared away. Now Inter Milan can counter. We're seeing the best 2 sides in the league here, and I'm sure we'll see a number of brilliant bits of play. 20 minutes gone, it remains 0-0. Half an hour gone, it's an in-swinging corner for Inter. Ruben Diaz heads it away. It was into a dangerous area, but it's out to Toma again. Into the back post for the centre forward. Headed it against the crossbar. Rattled the woodwork with that one. And at the second attempt, he couldn't bring it down. And eventually we hack it clear. 5 minutes to the break and we're starting to hang on now. We've only had that one shot on target from Martin. Inter up to 4 now as Davis comes into the box and puts it just over the bar from 18 yards. A brilliant effort, but the keeper had it covered. And it looks like we're going to make it to half-time at 0-0. Again, as we'd expected at the start, not much of an attacking threat. We're missing all of our first-team players, but we still look solid enough at the back. So we're going to tell the lads it was a little disappointing. Zoltan Lowe agrees with us on that one, and in the end we pressed the wrong button anyway, so we're just going to tell them to keep it going. We're going to talk to a few of the players though, particularly in attacking positions, and we've just told them we know there's more to come, and hopefully they'll produce it. We want to encourage the midfielders, as a few of those were nervous, and they're looking a bit more confident now, so that's all we could have asked for really. And then Ivan Chan at right back, he's a little bit nervous. I'm not surprised, he's on a yellow card in a top of the table clash, so let's just calmly tell him we believe in him, and he looks happy enough with that. So let's get into the second half. Bernard Martin finds Gaucho, La Rocca all the way back to centre half as we try and build again from the kickoff. Diogo Late gets it clear, and the highlight ends with a score still goalless. It's into Davis from an Inter Milan throw. They're coming forward on the left hand side now, Toma getting lots of space in midfield. Looks like the best player technically for them, takes all the set pieces as well, across into the box finds Davis on the left, and he heads it straight at Leonardo from 5 yards. It's a free kick for Marigi on the other side now, delivers from the left, is missed by everyone. Gaucho hits a low drive and is tipped away by the keeper down to his right. A really good bit of goalkeeping, and again we're nicking chances on the break. It's put into the box, but the free kick's given. Bernard Martin giving away a silly foul. Who would it be that's costing us the game? Of course it's going to be the centre forwards. Diogo Late with a free kick at the back. He finds Vernier the left back, and then Gomez gets it into La Rocca. Switch to Marigi, not had the worst game, probably the most threatening of our three attackers. Into Gaucho, just wide of the post. A good effort created by Marigi, but in the end it's still 0-0 with an hour gone, and Inter Milan continue with a goal kick. La Rocca brings it down to Late, and now Gaucho's got it in midfield. He finds Claudio Gomez. We're keeping it calm in the middle of the pitch, and he finds Marigi on the right. Again a threatening run by the winger, into Gaucho, and it's blocked. It bobbles around in the box. The flag goes up, but it falls for the keeper, so we're just going to continue with the highlight. It ends eventually, and with a quarter of the game to go, no team's able to make the breakthrough yet. We see a free kick from Gaucho go just over the bar, and after this highlight we're going to make some changes. Bernard Martin again the weakest man on the pitch. The long goal kick goes as far as Vernier. He finds Proyer on the left hand side, tries to cross it in from there. It's an awful delivery, and it's all the way through to the keeper. He's going to throw it out, and this has been a long highlight, so I presume it's going to end with a goal or good chance. Davis has got it on the left, and it looks like it's going to be Inter as Gonzalez gets it wide to Arzani. We've not seen much from him so far, but then he delivers a brilliant ball. Davis volleys it just wide of the post, and with 20 to go we'll make some changes. The main priority here is to deal with apprehensive players, and if we can take Bernard Martin off then great. Ivan Chan's on a yellow, so Conrad Lima comes on there. In central midfield Gaucho's off. We're going to bring Courtinovis on for him, and also Claudio Gomez is struggling. We can bring on the skipper on this occasion. Saavedra comes onto the left side of the two. He's comfortable as the Segundo Volante. Let's get back into it then. Bernard Martin gets the 90. He's now looking nervous as well, but we'll try and give him a little pep talk. It's a throw for Inter on the left-hand side. Salimi's got it in the middle. He goes back to Toma and now Gonzalez. We'll give it 5 more minutes. If we make it to 80, we will go a little more defensive. But Inter are looking threatening here with Markovic as Ruben Diaz hacks it away. The two centre-halves have been sensational so far, dealing with everything that comes into the box as Bernard Martin gets the ball up front and decides to pass it back to Arzani. Maybe he thinks they're still teammates from last year, but either way he's been absolutely awful today, and the miss of Gerardo is really showing here. I know his Ismail Assar and Brass have had brilliant seasons as well, but the fact that we haven't got him's everything, and that Bernard Martin pass almost led to a goal. Leonardo having to make a fantastic save to his right. He moves into the sevens as Toma delivers the corner. Akanji flicks it on and it's headed away by Proyer. Marigi brings it to Bernard Martin. He's got two in the middle if he can find them, and again he's so slow and he's been challenged, and he's gone out for a throw on the left. Terrible from Bernard Martin, and we're going to demand a bit more from the lads. 10 minutes to go, we've got to get it out of them as Courtinovis gets the ball in the middle. He finds Vernier, out to the central midfielder again, into Bernard Martin, and he passes it back to the keeper. He's really starting to annoy me now. At two clubs he's really been frustrating. He's got 3-star ability, he's a decent enough striker, but he's not showing anything at all in this one. There's just 4 minutes of stoppage time to go, so we are going to drop to a balanced mentality. We're going to time waste all the time, slow the tempo down a little bit too, play for set pieces where we've been dangerous so far, and then slow the pace down in in possession, hold our shape when we win it back, and regroup when we lose possession. In fact, we're going to keep the counter press on. I still want to make sure we put pressure on our opponents, but we're not going to go for the short goalkeeper distribution. Bernard Martin's not winning anything anyway, so let's just press play and see what happens in stoppage time. 20 seconds remaining and we've got the throw-in, which is what we want to see. 0-0 might not be the most exciting game to watch, and we probably haven't been as attacking as we are normally, but this would be an absolutely fantastic point in the grand scheme of things. It keeps us top above Inter Milan, having got our hardest game of the season on paper out the way, with just Juventus away being the other. So a fantastic result, brilliant defensive display. You can see all of the back five, apart from Chan and Lima, have managed to get a rating above a 7. Both centre-halves and the keeper were dominant, and the left-back was excellent as well. We really missed all of our attacking stars, but if we can still get results like that without them, we really are going to be title contenders this year. So given the circumstances and the problems we've got with injuries, I'm really pleased with that result. I'm going to tell the lads it just wasn't their night. Zolo wants us to tell them it's disappointing. I'm not happy with that at all, but we really need another striker in January that's a little bit better than Bernard Martin. So hopefully our director of football will find another loanee, but otherwise we're going to be stuck with what we've got. We remain top of the league, the honours were even. We'll deal with the press conference off camera in a minute, but if we go and finish on the table before looking at the schedule and when we'll next be back, you can see we're still a point clear. Milan and Bologna can't get near us if they win, so we're in a really good position at the moment and hoping we can increase our lead in the coming month. We've got plenty of action before January as well. We've got to try and wrap up the Champions League group. We want to try and finish top if possible, as we'll hopefully get an easier draw then, but either way, just getting that win to get us through is the most important thing at this stage. We've got the Italian Cup starting at the end of December. Only 4 rounds I think you have to play to win that one. I think the European side's coming at the last 16 or last 32, if I remember rightly from the San Marino challenge before. So we're going to get 4 or 5 rounds of that if we want to try and get ourselves to the final. So let's go and look at the schedule for when we'll next be back. It's going to be about the same time next month, I think. We've got a massive game coming up at the start of December, and you can probably notice it on the screen there. Juventus at home at the start of December. We'll have just played Benfica in the midweek and found out who was going to win the Champions League group, providing that the last results both go our way. And then we'll be back for that massive Serie A match, just 2 more in the meantime, and then we've got Juventus where we can hopefully stamp our authority. It's going to be a really tough December for us. We've got all the sides that are at the top of the league, so those 5 league games there before Empoli are all against sides in the top 7. Away to Bologna, who are up in the top 4. Lazio are up around there as well. Atalanta and Milan are in 3rd place, so there's plenty of big games to come. It's going to be a difficult spell, but hopefully we'll be able to get through it, and we will be back for that Juventus game next time, as we play last season's champions, the only side that managed to finish above Napoli. I can already see they've got Marcus Rashford out injured, so that's a bit of an insight into the amount of money they must have had to spend to get in players of that quality, and from a club like United who probably wouldn't have sold easily. But if you did enjoy this episode and that really hard fought draw against Inter Milan, please do put a thumbs up on the video. I know it possibly wasn't the most exciting game, but we have to show you the other side of things, where we take that slightly more defensive approach and really try and get important results. Those are the sort of ones that win us the title, not the 2 or 3-0 wins at home to easy mid-table sides. So we do need to show as many of them as possible, and a more pragmatic approach we have to take. It gives us a chance for our defensive players to star as well, and Leonardo, who was exceptional in that one. Let me know down in the comments if you think we can win the Champions League group, or do you think we'll get pipped to it by Benfica? I'm a bit worried about that game against them, as it's 4 days before the Juventus one, so we might have to rest a few players for it, and we'll see how we get on with that. Obviously we haven't got that option at the moment, as we are missing a few due to injury, but with the 2-week international break coming up, I'm hoping we'll be able to get a few back. Let me know if you think we can win the league as well. It's been a really impressive start after those couple of draws, but now we're missing a few attacking players again. Are we going to see the goals dry up? Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories. This one, The Head Coach, and then our One Club series, part of the Furniture with Torquay United, where we try to take them to the top of English and European football. We're a season ahead in that one. We're into the middle of the 13th now, so if you haven't seen any of that one yet, then do go back and check it out. There's also 3 episodes a week from Cricket 19, the official game of the Ashes. At the moment we're doing an Ashes test playthrough, and then in a couple of weeks' time our long-term career will start. It's one of my favourite games aside from Football Manager, and probably my favourite console game in the last 5 years, so please do go and check it out if you haven't seen it already, if you are a fan of other sports games. We'll also continue with our Snooker 19 career every Friday at 4:30. But a massive thanks for watching this one and your continued support with the series. I really do appreciate it, and we'll see you next time for another big game from Napoli as we play the current title holders Juventus, the biggest side in Italian football. Can we get an important home win?